We not real. We not real. Oh my God.
Oh, buddy.
That
You're gonna get expelled, dude.
we not real. We not real. Oh my God.
Oh, buddy.
That
You're gonna get expelled, dude.
Yo, homie dead. Yo, homie dead. He got shot in the head. Yo, homie dead.
Evil is real, people, and it kind of looks like that. Evil. Evil. Murder is bad. She is evil. Why are you being so
Why are you
hateful?
so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Yeah.
Hey, can somebody tell her to back up?
Can you
please?
not
She's
put the camera in my face?
I'm sitting here. You walked up to me.
Okay, well, I can
I don't
do
want
this
this.
too.
I said rest in peace.
Okay, and I can do
Just
this
leave it
too.
alone. Please don't come after
Ma'am,
me.
you've been
I want to be
being
left
emotional.
alone.
I'm not emotional, ma'am. Don't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can get out of my face because I can tell you what you are, but you won't like it.
You're being aggressive. You're being aggressive.
I'm not being aggressive. My voice
You
is
are
very
being
calm. You're calling me
aggressive.
aggressive because I'm a black woman.
Not at all.
You are. We're not.
Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachahakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect that sat here laboring in all truth and sincerity to USA Shalom. This is Brother Amon Ariyah from the GMS Charlotte camp coming back with another Lord willing edifying lesson to feed the elect of the nation of Israel. And pretty much in this lesson, I wanted to speak on this whole, aftermath that's unfolding, that's took place after this dude, CK, got his TV turned off. And as we see, man, Esau Edom is coming down upon anybody that's speaking, out against this, whole situation, which, mostly we're seeing really is Jake that's catching the brunt of it. But as, these things continue to unfold, all right, fuck you. Esau's not playing no games, man. All right, so this is how we know that this situation was nothing more than a psyop. All right, to introduce, all right, Esau, beginning to take away your free speech. All right, your First Amendment right. All right, which we know ultimately is coming down to, okay, Esau is coming after the prophets. All right, but I just wanted to go into this real quick, because as we are going to continue to see these different events take place, man, Esau Edom is showing forth the true hypocrisy that he is known for. Because here it is, Esau can just shoot out all manner of hate, talk shit about all different races, mock history. But when it comes to the calling out of his own people, all right, these devils, they don't like that shit, man. And it just shows you how hypocritical these damn Edomites are, especially you Edomite Christians, because the whole sentiment of forgive and forget goes out the window whenever it's put on you. All right. Now, I wanted to go into this real quick, dealing with some of the situations. As you saw the two videos that I played at the beginning, all right, you had two college students. All right, one was expelled, and the other one was arrested for mocking, CK's death. All right, and as we've seen different reports of different people being doxxed, all right, being fired, all right, being persecuted for speaking, ill on this man. All right, it just goes to show you that, hey, these devils, they're losing it, man. All right, and we find it, very hypocritical that when the so-called left, all right, was in office dealing with Joe Biden and his cabinet, all right, the whole sentiment of cancel culture and all that, when you spoke against the agenda that was being pushed during the Biden administration, all right, you had all these so-called right wingers speaking about how that was unjust, how that was infringing on your rights. And look, we see the same thing happen all over again, all right? But this time it's by the right, which shows you that these devils all play for the same side, man. All right. Now, I want to grab this real quick. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." And that's this, this revived Roman system known as America, Babylon the Great. All right. And we see, the revived version of the plebeians and patricians, which are now known today as the Republicans and the Democrats. All right. Both, pushing forth what you would think is different rhetoric, but it's the same message, going out, but just in different ways. All right. So as it says, all right, he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, because on one side you have, the so-called leftists, speaking out at one point, against the wickedness that the right was doing. All right. Talking about how, how racist they were, the pushing forward for, the different rights for, the LMNOP people. All right. Black Lives Matter and all this other bullshit. And there was highlighting, making the right seem like they was wicked. But now we see the right is in office, and now they're doing the same thing the left was doing, which shows you that both of these, sides of the beast, they're ultimately pushing the same narrative, man. All right, though they may come and speak differently, the end results are the same. It shows you that these devils, they're at odds with each other, man. All right, and it started out as soft speech, but as we see it, man, these draconian measures are now being implemented, as we're seeing the crackdown on your free speech, man. All right, which leads me to another example dealing with this whole CK situation. So here we have Jimmy Kimmel, all right, who has since been fired since speaking about the whole situation. I'm gonna read a little bit of this real quick. This is off of the Independent. It says ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely following host comments about CK shooting. All right. It says ABC has announced it will suspend Jimmy Kimmel's late night show indefinitely after the host comments about the fatal shooting of conservative activist CK. An ABC spokesperson told the Hollywood Reporter on Wednesday that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. The move comes after Kimmel said on his show Monday, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered CK as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it." Right. Because when you look at this whole thing, all right, when that shooting happened, all right, they was trying to, say that the shooter had to be a so-called leftist, that it was probably, they was hoping that it was, one of them, Transformers, or a Jake, And so when it came out that it was another so-called white man, a Edomite, all right, and he was a Trump supporter at that, okay? He was the furthest thing from a leftist because he pretty much agreed with majority of Trump's policies. So now they're trying to, try to spin this in another way to take the eyes off of him. But we see that this whole thing is nothing but a big ass psyop, man. All right. So it says Donald Trump quickly took to social media to gloat over Kimmel's situation. Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel's show is canceled. He posted on Truth Social. Congrats to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC President DJT. Now, like I said, we see all this, all right, as we see the infighting amongst the so-called left-right paradigm. But the people are becoming privy to this because, like I said, this is all nothing more than a farce, all right, that we see, Esau Edom, using to try to stir up the minds of the people. But, hey, man, he's being exposed real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? And so the elect see right through this shit, man. We see that this is nothing more than Esau, capitalizing on a situation that he can take advantage of, All right, because with this dude CK getting off like that, all right, this was the perfect opportunity to capitalize on attacking free speech, man. Because under your First Amendment right, you have the ability to say what you will. All right, but as we see these things, unfolding, all right, these Edomites are losing it because they lack the accountability to be able to take what they dish out, man. Because when you listen to the rhetoric that dude Kirk was saying, all right, he was pretty much dispelling all this Edomite pseudoscience, going into how the so-called Negroes, all right, are the dangerous T words on the earth, all right, how that they're pretty much being so-called white people have to coddle blacks because they're lazy and all this other bullshit that they shouldn't have to worry about paying for slavery because no so-called black person today is a descendant of slaves and all this other bullshit. But what is really coming out is that these Edomites, they can't accept the fact that everything that you're trying to put on Jake, that's really you, because you're the ones that taught Jake to be these wicked individuals that we see. Because niggas, especially these YNs, are a creation made by you Edomites, man. Kudos to rap music, your movies, all right, like your black pork. I always fuck that word up. The old movies like Boys in the Hood, Minister Society, all the way till we see the movies now. They all push the same message, man, about how niggas are nothing more than drug dealing thug gangsters, all that. All right, but this is a reason for them to come down against Jake. All right, but in the midst of all that, all right, Esau is fighting against himself, man. All right, we see that it's Esau, the elites of Esau, all right, is using this situation to stir up division, which is really Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua that's doing that, man. All right, this is Luke 12:51. It reads, "Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? Nay, it says, I tell you, nay, but rather division." All right, from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and her daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So, hey, this situation, just like we saw during 2020 with the pandemonic, all right, of how that they use that jab to divide the people up. But hey, man, Babylon is divided, man. All right, because Esau was stirring the pot, all right, pitting the left against the right, because that's all the talking points you're hearing from Trump, man. This is all the left's fault, man. All right, the lefts are the biggest problem because all these shootings that we're seeing, all right, have majority been, these transformers, which through the spirit we believe that is a sign up in itself. I got a video in my phone, Lord willing, I can try to do a video on it. But I showed it before, but that these trainees pretty much were calling to arm up to go and fight against anybody that's that's pretty much trying to stop their right to use the different bathrooms and do whatever else nasty shit they had going on. All right, so that division is tearing this place apart, and this is what the elites want. All right, now Lord willing, I can pull this up real quick. Dealing with video that Yashawama did. I wanted to read that real quick. All right, because this is a comment that was left dealing on this subject. I'm going to read that real quick. So it says, the so-called left-right dim rep divide in this country obscures the class divide. It obscures the fact that both parties represent the interests of bankers, CEOs, and large commercial landlords. That's why, while we see our standards of living declining and the endless wars, we seem powerless to stop them. Both parties stand in the way of the working class unity. All right. So these people are starting to realize that what these devils are doing, all right, is really fucking them over in the end, man. All right. Which at the end of the day, man, this is all biblical prophecy because the Lord said he was going to cause this place to be divided, man. All right, this is Isaiah 19:2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and that's what's happening, man. All right, the Lord is causing this place to implode, through the middle, which ultimately is going to cause this place to be destroyed, man. All right, grabbing this. All right, this is Luke 11:17. It says, he knew their thoughts, so he said, any kingdom divided. It says, and he knew their thoughts, and so he said, any kingdom divided by civil war is doomed. And that's not what is being pumped. All right, you're seeing all different type of articles now coming out about how civil war is brewing in America, man. All right, how racial division through race, class, and all that is stirring. All right, which is why we had that movie come out, I believe it was last year or 2 years ago, called Civil War. All right, which pretty much, pushed the narrative of what type of American are you? So the Lord is causing these Edomites to fight against each other, man. Okay? It says a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. You say I am empowered by Satan, but if Satan is divided and fighting against himself, how can his kingdom thrive? And we see that America is falling just off that fact that how these Edomites, hey, they're at war with each other, man. But the thing about it that, you Jakes don't understand is though these Edomites are fighting against themselves, they all have one common enemy, which is you Israelites, which is why you are being pegged for the reason to why everything that's wrong in the earth is your fault. All right? You are the reason why America is being destroyed. All right? And this is why that rhetoric is now being spun on social media, that witchcraft, the enchantment that's being sent of, niggas are the problem. All right? So-called white people are under attack by, by Edom, so-called white people are under attack by niggas. This is why they're pushing back that narrative of how, the so-called black man, he's a brute. All right? He's this amount of 300 times more likely to attack you than a so-called white man and whatever else trumped up stats that they're pulling out, man. 'Cause that's what CK was doing on these campuses in his debates. All right? But, this is just Jacob's trouble brewing, all right? And in the midst of that brewing, Esau is destroying himself at the same time, all right? So, grabbing this, man, because this is all, Esau, Edom about to set up this martial law, man, okay? Because it's going to be a bloodbath in the street very soon, man, all right? And so, as we're seeing that First Amendment being attacked, you Jakes are going to suffer the worst out of this. This is Isaiah 29:21. It says that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. And that's what's happening, man. Okay? Hey, Jake is being made an offender of the word. So look, you can't even talk about this whole situation with this dude CK, man. Hey, as you see now, we have to speak in code because just like what happened during, the C-19 with the jab, all right, hey, so speaking this dude by name can cause us to get get our pages flagged, man. Get the video taken down, man. All right. So hey, this is all preparing you for the ultimate goal, which is to bring in the famine of the word. All right. And how do we know that? Because go up. We see this right here, man. All right. It says Pam Bondi, who is Trump's representative speaker. It says Pam Bondi warns hate speech that rises into threats of violence is not protected by First Amendment. All right. And they already said that what they consider, hate speech, all right, will be met with extreme force. And now we're seeing that. All right. Hey, people's livelihood is being affected by what they're saying on social media surrounding this dude's death. So how much more when it comes down to speaking, the words of this Bible, all right, which condemn Esau and his kingdom, man. All right. Another one, get this as well, because this is, like I said, this is all what this is leading to. Lord willing to come up. Damn, Safari acting stupid. All right, this is off the cradle.co. It says U.S. lawmakers introduce Stop Police bill to strip citizens of passports over Israel criticism. So, hey, this is all what this is all leading to, man. Okay? Hey, people are waking up to the fact that all this shit that's going on in America is nothing more than distractions to get the people's minds off what those small hats are doing over there in the land of Israel, man. All right? And that's the thing, because as we just saw as well, all right, for those that, weren't informed, all right, Google has now partnered with the land of Israel, all right, to spread, Israeli propaganda, all right, so that, you're not getting the true facts of what's happening over there in Gaza, man. Okay? So it says, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has revoked visas and green cards of foreign nationals for opposing Israel's genocide of Palestine and Gaza. It says a U.S. congressman is introducing a bill that could potentially be used to deny U.S. citizens the right to travel based solely on their speech. And what's that sound like? That sounds like Second Esdras, was that 16? All right. This is why this place is about to go, man. All right. Hey, there's so much stuff going on through the spirit, man. Prophecy is jumping off the page, man. Hey, we're close, man. All right, this is Second Esdras, chapter 15, and I'll start at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." Matter of fact, spirit been on, brothers. Let's get this in the GNT. Matter of fact, why not, right? Hop on the bandwagon. All right, Second Esdras 15 and 14 in the GNT. It says, "The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations." And this is why I said, man, all this shit is being done to distract the people from what those damn small hats are doing. Because as Bible prophecy tells us, man, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So as we see them doing that damn G word over there in Gaza, all right, all that, that killing, okay, it's causing the world to hate them. All right, and eventually they're going to do something that's going to cause America to have to step in, which is going to cause Russia to step in, and World War III is going to be in full force. All right, because we're already in World War III, but it's not being talked about fully because we're still in the beginning stages. But Israel's going to do something that's going to cause this thing to truly kick off, and we're going to go into higher gear. But before any of that truly happens, man, Esau Edom has to implement this mark of the beast first, man. Okay? It says, "There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another one and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government." And that's what's happening. All right? You got the right trying to demonize the left, all right, and vice versa. All right? And it's going to get to a point to where these people aren't going to respect the government, and they're going to start offering these people like what we saw so-called what's his name, Luigi Mangione, how he offed that one dude from the was it United Health, the CEO. All right, that's going to happen a lot more to these different politicians and people in political power, because the average American is seeing that these politicians sold them out. All right, all these politicians are whores to these small hats, man. The ADL and all these different Israeli spokespersons, man. All right, they all have a sponsor by these small hats. It says there will no longer be free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. And that's what's going on, man. That's what we just read in this article is the beginning stages of that. So if you speak out against what those small hats are doing over there in Israel, all right, well, in Gaza, all right, you're going to be, stripped of your ability to travel, all right? And it's going to get to a point to where the country is going to be so divided due to, civil war, that Hey, those 10 FEMA zones that America has been divided into, they're going to be enacted till we're not going to be able to leave your area. All right? This is all Bible prophecy taking place as we speak. Okay? So going back, all right, Isaiah 29 and 21. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. And that's what's going on, man. Okay? And these devils have laid that snare, and that dude CK, man, hey, he was a necessary sacrifice that these devils are capitalizing on to start that demonization of you tribes, man. Okay, because you're the main recipients of that hate. Because here, hey, all you can say, these Edomites can say whatever they want about niggas, but the moment Jake speak out against them, all hell breaks loose, man. Okay, and like I said, this is all really being done to come after the prophets, because everything that Esau Edom's doing, his end goal is to come after us, man. Okay, this is Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And that's what's going on, man. All right. Hey, Esau Edom is being brought down because he's being exposed to be that hypocrite, man. Okay. Everything that he is doing to try to, set the tribes up, all right, is being, pretty much is being cast down, man. All right, he's being exposed, and what's exposing him is the word. Okay, so this is how we know that we're close, man. Hey, this powder keg is a few seconds from exploding, man. And these devils, all right, they have no choice but to lash out at the prophets, because he senses his end is near. All right, so you Jakes out there, man, and you think that shit sweet still, man. Hey, at the end of the day, hey, you better have your How About Shem Yahushua in your corner, because if not, you're going to be asked out. Okay? Now, I had a few more precepts, but I mean, Spirit kind of said what I wanted to say, so I can just end it right here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. So with that, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect. Until next time, I say shalom.